Hey there, and welcome back to Sober Spring. We've obviously been really delving deeply into connection. And what I want to do is think about how we can use our connection with ourself, with how we work, and with the things that we want to achieve, how we can use that to increase our connection with other people. Now, one of the most amazing examples of connection in the 20th century was Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech. If you haven't taken some time to indulge yourself watching that speech, or you just haven't done it for a while, I thoroughly recommend you jump on YouTube when you finish this video and have a look at that. And well, honestly, that's going to make me look like a proper third-rate orator, isn't it? In comparison to Martin Luther King, I'm just going to sound rubbish. Anyway, it's an amazing, amazing speech. Now, one of the things that it's easy to miss in that speech is the context in which that speech was made. So it was made as a part of the March on Washington, which was a big civil rights demonstration at the height of the civil rights movement in America. Now, 250,000 people came to listen to that speech. And you've got to ask yourself the question, why did 250,000 people come along? Well, look, it's an important issue, absolutely. But it is one thing to get them there, it is another thing to actually connect with them when they're there. So, why did Martin Luther King connect so well with those 250,000 people? And actually, if you do watch it on YouTube, what you'll probably observe is an awful lot of people have watched it on YouTube as well. You know, millions and millions of people have watched that just since YouTube has existed. So, how did he connect with all of those people? Well, he's a great orator, of course. But what does that really mean? You know, he was able to connect with those other people because he was so clear about who he was. He was very connected with himself, with his purpose, and with what he wanted to achieve. And that helped him to connect with all of those other people. Now, of course, Martin Luther King was a very religious guy, so he was also very connected spiritually. You know, he was connected with God, and of course, if that's important to you, if you know your sober journey has been one of reconnecting with a higher power, that is, of course, an important thing for you to do as well. We've been talking more about how you can connect with yourself, though, and how you can connect with, you know, the way you solve problems, the way you undertake tasks, and also connecting with what you want to achieve, what your objectives are, and what your values are, and what skills you want to learn. And I think it's kind of obvious that Martin Luther King was very connected from that sense. And if you can begin to build that connection within yourself, it will make connecting with other people an awful lot easier. Now, look, we can't all hope to be quite as good as Martin Luther King. We can't all hope to be inspiring 250,000 people and changing the world in that kind of a big way. But you know what? You can always inspire the person in front of you, and that will change the world, albeit in a much smaller way. So once you have lined up all of this connection and you've got it all kind of straight within yourself, what do? Well, honestly, you need to start connecting with other people. This is one of the things I mentioned in the last video. Two of the things that have become really, really important to me, two skills that I want to actively develop, is creating partnerships and leadership. Because I have realized that you do not achieve very much on your own. And it is by building those connections with other people that we are able to achieve so much more. So, how are you going to do that? Well, first off, start thinking about the people that you want to connect with. Now, undoubtedly, there will be people in your network who you probably haven't spent enough time talking to, who could probably help you to achieve some of the objectives that you've set for yourself, some of the things that you want to change about the world. You probably know people who you can help you with that, but for whatever reason, you haven't been talking to them. So that is always a good starting point for people you already know. The next place to look is organizations. There are probably a lot of organizations that can help you achieve the objective that you want to achieve. So, what organizations are there out there? After that, it's always worth thinking about not simply the people you know, but the people you know. That almost made sense. Think about the people that you might meet through your friends. Who do your friends and colleagues know? So, yes, you've got a kind of network of people, but actually it gets a lot larger when you start to think about the people that they know. And you'd probably be surprised. So, I'll start asking around. Say, look, this is what I'm trying to do. Who do you know that might be able to help me out? Like I say, you might be pleasantly surprised. They might know the exact perfect person. They might be only too happy to put you in touch. Now, once you've identified some of the people that you think, or people or organizations that you think you might want to connect with, it then becomes a question of how do you connect with them? So there are lots of great electronic ways of doing that. You know, you can send them an email or a text if you have those details, or you can just reach out to them on the socials. And that is always a good starting point. You can contact organizations, you know, that way as well. But I would encourage you to think of it only as a starting point. All of the best changes come from those face to face conversations, ideally in person, but that is not always possible. So, you know, can you meet people on Zoom or Teams or those kind of platforms? So, how do we put all of that together? Well, it's simple. Grab a piece of paper, write high level strategy document at the top because you want to make it sound posh, don't you? And write down a few of the people who you already know, who you want to connect with, and get you know, talk to a bit more that might be able to help you achieve those objectives. Write down a few organizations, and then write down a few friends who you could ask, you know, if they know anybody who might be able to help you with. And once you've got that list of people, start working out how you're going to get in touch with all of those different people. What are you going to do? How are you going to make that first initial approach electronically? How are you going to get them into the same room as you or onto the same platform as you? So that's a, you know, a little whistle stop of how you can start using your connection with yourself to help you connect with other people, and how that can really help you to achieve your objectives and help you to change the world a little bit. But you know, that is just a starting point. It is a very big and difficult subject, with many kind of nuances and sometimes pitfalls. You know, I'd love to help you with connection a little bit more. That's one of the things that I always work on with people when I do coaching with them. You know, when I work with organizations, when I deliver training, you know, connection is one of those really important things that we always get into. So if you think I might be able to help you out with it, please get in touch with me. Connect with me. I might be the person. Stick me at the top of your strategic connection document, and let's see how we can change the world together. Otherwise, you know, go out and implement some of the stuff that we've talked about. Enjoy it. Don't forget to have fun. That's always so important. And I will see you the next time we're organizing one of these video series. We'll let you know all about that. I'll see you on there. Have an amazing week and stay connected.